All right, guys, what's up? As you can see here, we are technically in second place. We're right behind Lionheart of all teams, and it's time for us to go and take on Vaiala Tongan as the second half of the season comes underway. Let's see what we can do here. We're going to go ahead and take on those opposition instructions. That's going to tell me that so-and-so is playing out of position, blah, blah, blah. Take a quick look at this team, and yeah, this is the way we set it up. Tuala Lele is going to play in defensive midfield, which he hasn't done for a little while. He's better as a central defender, but let's see what he can do here. We still do have a deficit of players in midfield, and we could use a few more central defenders as well. But we'll see what happens here as we move along. I'm trying to look through this team and see if they have anybody we know other than Moe. Of course, King Moe is going to be up front for them. We have, of course, Maele, Atu, some of the big stars. You can see I haven't quite put the face pack on quite yet. The reason why is because it's been so much fun playing with this team. I haven't really taken the time to go through and do those little chores. So that's, I guess, one of those things that happens to you when you really start getting into your save. And let's see what happens. You know, the very beginning, I thought, oh, this will be really quick here in the Pacific Islands. But as time has gone on, I found myself becoming really, really fond of this team and very fond of the challenge that we found ourselves up against. And it's Vaiala here who knocks one right through Ikuvalu. That was awful. That was simply horrible. And we have to do better than that. That was a really, really poor performance there by Ikuvalu. I mean, if this guy, he's only 18, but if he really wants to be our long-term goalkeeper, he's going to have to stop these balls. I mean, look at that. He goes right through him. He goes just right through him. How does he not stop that? That's ridiculous. It's very, very poorly done. It's bad for a defense to leave that much room open in the back. And we are down 1-0 here right in the early going. Pass goes over to Famoana. Famoana lumps his forward for Maele and has him there behind the defense. And he's got a man. Does he see him? Not quite yet. And then he passes over to Tuala Lele, who scores his first goal of the season, and that ties this 1-1. We've had 2 goals, one from each team in the first minute. This is ridiculous. I don't know what's happened. Maybe there's something wrong with the random number generator or something like that. I don't know, but this is just absolutely crazy. I had no idea anything like this was going to happen. It's a ridiculous shot. Twa should be able to stop it. He doesn't, and we've tied this match already 1-1 here in the early going. And this is going to be one of those where you're going to have to hold on to your hats. Tiatia with the ball now. He's been out for quite some time. Over to Kalliopa, back to Tiatia. Tiatia lumps this one forward, looking for Kalliopa. Can't quite find him. A little bit slow there on the part of Robert. Is that his name? I keep forgetting his name. And fortunately for Vaiala Tongan, they're able to knock the one back to their own keeper. Palipua, of course, not going to let another ball get behind him. Milani lumps this one forward for Maele, and he just can't get past the defender. Otherwise, that would have been another wide open shot on goal for us. However, we are able to win that midfield. Maele now with the ball in the attacking position over to Kalliopa. He finds Milani. Milani pass up. He passes down instead to Kalliopa. If he had passed that ball up, we had a man who was crossing and wide open. Atu lumps this one forward. I think it was Atu who was there who would have been wide open, and I want to see Atu score more goals. Tuala Lele does find Atu. No, he doesn't. That was in the penalty area. No foul called, unfortunately, for Atu, who I thought probably had at least some sort of claim to it, and this ball is lumped backwards. Palipua is able to get it. Tuala Lele just a little bit too slow, and that's one of the reasons why we kind of want him to play in the back. He's having some problems winning the ball in midfield. Poli gets back onto that one, Hingy that is, and are they going to call him for offside? Yes, they will. They will call Vaiala for offside there. A lot of really fast-paced action here. It's becoming difficult to keep up with all the things that are happening as both teams have come out trying to score. And it's Palipua who winds up with the ball, and he's going to bring this forward. And look at all the space the AI gives him when he brings the ball forward by himself. He could run that ball all over into their half of the pitch if he wanted to. Nobody's even close to trying to defend him. And it's really interesting how Football Manager works, isn't it? Puasa for them ends up slowing it up and then is lumped forward for Tia, who's able to run back and get it. We're only 10 minutes into this match. And it's Kalliopa with the ball here. Kalliopa will pass over to Tuala Lele, who finds Atu. Atu with over to Famoana. Famoana finds Atu in the give and go. And it goes over to Kalliopa and then Maele, who unfortunately both shots are blocked. And I thought that Maele was going to be able to get one free, but just not quite. And it is headed back and over to Ikuvalu, who will hold on to it, and that will be the end of that. Let's take another look at this and see what happened here. So Atu had it over to Famoana, and he threaded the needle just perfectly. And you had 2-3 guys there with a shot at it. I don't like that pass to Kalliopa, though. I would think you'd want to put it right in front of Maele instead. Atu here with a free kick. It lumps it forward, and it looks like it went off of a defender and was crossed by them. Let's take another look and see what happened here. And no, it is Palipua who got a head onto that one, and Maile unfortunately can't get that header down. But that's the ball in a real dangerous position, and we've had some good performances here on offense so far from some of these players. You can see the Afa Famoana having another quiet match. I don't know if it's the position he plays or if there's something about him or what. The assistant manager swears up and down to me that Famoana is one of the best players on the team, but he hasn't played like that for me. Atu with it, lumps it over to Kalliope, down to Maile. Maile with it over to the other Kalliope. And he shoots it into, I don't know what that was aimed for. He shoots it at the television camera, so that's the end of that. And let's see if we can get the ball back out here. And we're not quite able to head it out to a player on our team, and that ends up being a shot that is blasted over the bar. Fortunately for us, that does not hurt us in the end. Afa Famoana continuing to have a poor game. Throws over to Milani, back to Famoana, who passes to Twalalele. It's passed back to Hengi Poli. He'll take it up a little bit, play with it a little bit, and then he lumps a pass forward to nobody. And once again, we have given up possession very, very lightly, and we need to stop doing that. This ball is passed back past Palipua, who ends up running back and getting onto that for a save. This is the reason why I keep talking about Palipua actually being the best defender on our team. I know that as far as paper is concerned, it looks like it's Twalalele, but I've never seen Twalalele do that. I've seen Palipua do that just about every match. So that's the reason why I like him so much. And there was something I was supposed to do down on the side, and I couldn't even read it fast enough before I went away. Only Football Manager things here. Boy, that was a corner that was conceded by us, and we're lucky that that didn't end up finding its way in, as Ikuvalu looked like he had no idea what was going on. Poli here is able to head this one out. Goes back up to Tofai now, whose shot is knocked out for another corner. And this time it's going to be Ledoux. I haven't looked yet to see which Ledoux is which and whatever happened to our old Ledoux, but I'm not sure if it really matters all that much. In the long scheme of things, what matters is that we can get the ball off of them and hopefully knock the ball to the other side of the pitch for a shot on goal. And we have been giving up a lot of momentum to them. This is a lump forward, and it was Ledoux there who had a header on goal that, fortunately for us, we were able to stop. I think here we'll be able to figure out at the bottom which Ledoux it is. Now, it's just going to say Ledoux. It's not going to tell me much more about it, so we don't know if that's ours or not. And we have been able to win the ball here in midfield. That was good. Over to Maile. Passes up to Atu. Atu, of course, goes right around his man and has a shot on goal. And that really did deserve a goal at the end of it, and it just didn't happen. We do have a couple of poor performances, which means, of course, that we're going to have people taken off at halftime. And it's Ikuvali with the ball. He passes over to Palipua. Palipua up to Kalliope. Kalliope back to Palipua. Palipua lumps it forward for Maile, which is not the preferred way of bringing the ball up the pitch, but we can do it that way. Kalliope walks it forward, pass, and he gets into a crossing position. It's over there to Atu, who I think is offside. Elama Atu is able to score, and they're going to call that onside, and so Kalliope really created that one. You could tell he wanted to cross it. That, by the way, is against the run of play, as it's pretty clear that Vaiala Tongan have had the better of it for the entire match, and we've just come all of a sudden here at the end of the half with a huge display of offense, and we're up 2-1 just like that. Atu, I'm telling you, Atu is awesome, and he's going to be a star here for a long time unless some club that actually has money to pay players comes along for him. And let's take a quick look over here at these tactics and to see if we can't get rid of some of these guys who are not having good matches. And yeah, it's Famoana who's not playing well. He's going to be replaced by Milo Kalliope. Robert Kalliope also playing poorly, which means that we're probably going to put Danny back on there. So we'll see what he can do. And we'll hold Ene back just in case something happens to Maile. It was a little bit tempting to put Ene up there, though, in that attacking position. But let's see how Danny can do. He's played fairly well for us in his few substitute appearances. This is lumped forward over to nobody, and Ikuvali will go run over there and grab the ball. And he's under no pressure at all. Passes over to Milo. And this is knocked over back to the center of the pitch, but we're able to get onto it. There's Rock with it. Over to Danny. Danny lumps it forward for Atu, and this is what we like to see. Atu with it, and he explodes on it instead of passing it. He should have passed. The defender did get in the way of that shot, but I tell you, if he had passed over to Maile, who was right behind him and who was wide open, that would have been a goal. I mean, look at how open Maile would have been. All you have to do is sort of lump that ball over and cross it just a little bit to him, and it's an easy goal. Nobody's going to get in front of it. Atu here with the corner, lumps it forward, looking for Milo, and you can't quite find him. It's passed back over to Poli, and Poli takes a shot and comes close to scoring, but just not quite. And so it remains 2-1 for PanSa East FC. And now there is a throw-in for them from a really unusual position. I'm not sure how that happened. I really don't know how that was not a goal kick for them, whatever happened beforehand, but we're not able to see it. Milani takes a shot from range and it goes to nothing. And it's another one of those football manager type highlights where it ends up being just absolutely nothing, but the game shows it to you anyway for reasons. Milani appears inspired, but I would like to see him actually have a better shot on goal than that. Maile here with the header and just barely misses scoring. And he's been up there hunting for one all day long. Let's see if we can get him one here before the end. But first, we have to play some defense, and I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do it. We are. Tiatia ends up winning that one over to Maile. He's got it back over to Milani, and, of course, that is the end of that highlight. And it's Palipua here with the free kick. Lumps this one forward for Danny. Danny will run it over here down the right side, and he's got men to cross it to. And that was crossed over to Maile. I think he was trying to get over to Atu, actually, and Maile just explodes that one into the back of the net. 3-1 for PanSa East FC. And that was a real odd hesitation play here by Danny, who probably should make a decision a little bit faster than this. And no, it was a pass to Maile. He saw it. I saw Atu coming over, and I thought at first that it was Atu who was trying to get onto that one. And Maile was just in the right position, got the ball and exploded on it. No one was going to stop it, and that makes it 3-1 here for PanSa East FC. And I mean, we are on a mission to get into first place. Let's see if we can do it, and we can hold on to this. We have about 20 minutes left of this match, and first thing first, we have to get this ball off of them. It's lumped up and forward, and they have it here in a good position, but it's Palipua who gets onto it, over to Kalliope, to the other Kalliope, and then over to Danny. Danny lumps it forward for Maile, who's way behind the defense. Tries to lob them, just can't. Atu with a chance, and unfortunately the defender is able to get back before that. This was really, really good idea, though, by Maile, who can see that he's too far away, so okay, we'll do a little lob action, and there's some suspicions of handball there on the part of their defender. So very, very good play here by us. Atu takes a shot at goal, and that forces a really good save by Toa. That's almost in there. Atu is an absolute assassin when it comes to those free kicks. I don't want anybody else taking free kicks. I just want it to be Atu, and I want him to start every match. He has been absolutely awesome for us here in this season. He's the player that we've been hoping to have, and Ikuvalu punches this one out. Not sure why he did that. Over to Tiatia. Tiatia now with it, passes to Kalliope to Danny. And Danny is tackled from behind. We end up winning it back as they try to pass it backwards, and Maile just misses that one. That clanks off the top bar and goes out. So a little bit of kind of odd play here as Milani was right in the way of that pass. Passes it over to Maile, and Maile knew that he had to do something spectacular with it. Unfortunately, his shot is just a little bit high, but I can't really blame him on that one. Atu now with the free kick knocks that one forward and over, and it's Twalolele who scores a second of the match and second of the season. That's a header for him, and he doesn't score very often, but when he does, we are very, very impressed. Maybe we should play him here in the defensive midfielder role a little bit more often. Hey, not bad. Not bad. We'll take it. 4-1 PanSa East FC, and we are getting revenge for that 5-5 draw that we had earlier on in the season. And I think that our players have gotten better, honestly, as time has gone on. And we're able to win that in the air. Twalolele, though, gives up possession too easily. Ikuvalu, however, is there for the save, grabs onto it, and that will end the momentum. Kalliope knocks this one forward for Milani. It is, however, blocked back away, but Atu, look at Atu going back and winning that one the way that you should. And he lumps this forward over to Danny. Danny is looking forward. He's got Kalliope Kaleopa, pass it to Maile. There it is to Maile, and that's called for a penalty. It's going to be Milo Kaleopa. No, Tualalele will take this one, and he gets his hat trick. 5-1 for PanSa East FC, and all is right with the world as we have scored once again, and we are starting to dominate the way that we did that first season. And I'm really starting to become fond of this club. We've got good players. Tualalele may be really upset when he gave up those penalties and gave up those goals in those matches a little bit earlier in the season, but he's really redeemed himself, and that's one of those good feel-good stories from the Football Manager universe. Now let's see if we can get the ball back off of them once again. We want to get more. 5-1 is not enough. We need to absolutely embarrass them if we can. Remember, this is an away match for us, and Scanlan for them with a shot, and Ikuvali was able to get in front of that one and stop it. It's a home match for them, I think is what I said. It's a away match for us. Ledoux steps back and then fires forward, and Ikuvali goes over and grabs that one. There wasn't even a Vaiala Tongan player anywhere close to that one. Kaleopa passed over to Tualalele. That's going to be the end of that. We don't need to see this highlight. And we'll go ahead and see this match to its completion. And there's just a couple of minutes left. Ikuvali now with the pass. Knocks this one forward. Unfortunately, Maile is not quite able to get back in time. And let's see what we can do here. And we're able to prevent them from scoring. Somehow they missed that, I think. Milani now with it as we have the ball moving back the right way. But Danny couldn't get onto that one. Paulipu over to Poli, down to Kaleopa. Milo with it. And he runs around, plays a little bit, over to Poli. Poli passes it forward looking for Milani, and that wasn't a very good pass. But Atu is able to win it back over to Tualalele. Back to Milo Kaleopa, who knocks this one forward again, looking for the same thing again, and Milani just not quite able to get onto it. Danny is quick and has been playing well. That's knocked out for a throw by them for some strange reason. I'm not sure what that was supposed to be. And I'm supposing that we're seeing one of their attacking movements here. And, I mean, PanSa for them doesn't know where the goal is, so that's perfectly fine. Here is the throw finally. Tiatia over to Milani. Our fans are whistling. Here's Palipua, and that is the end. 5-1 is the final score. We have redeemed ourselves. 4.08 XG, 57% of the possession. We won 100% of the tackles. We won 60% of the headers. We are playing very, very well. Let's keep this up. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.